about, English language theatre. We think about, big Wild Rice musicals, plays by Alfian in English and Eleanor Wong, and we forget, and it's strange that we forget so often that it's not that these plays that we the plays about LGBT experience don't just exist in English. They've existed in Mandarin, in Malay, and in Tamil. And this was happening from the very beginning of the time that people in Singapore were really openly discussing these issues. From the late 80s and early 90s. A few years ago, during Indignation, we staged Singapore's first gay Mandarin play, which is Ichu, which means Strange Tribe by Otto Fong. So, and ever since then, I've been thinking, well, we should do the early plays in other languages. And I thought about Aka for a while, and luckily earlier this year I was able to contact the playwright, G. Silva. He is still, and found out, well, not only is he still practicing theatre, he actually has his own theatre company called Avant Theatre over in Aliwal Arts Centre. He met with me, he gave me the script, and we decided, yeah, let's do a restaging. Aka was first written and staged in 1990, 23 years ago. There are some people in here who were born after that. And it was restaged. Yeah, apparently it made made quite an impact. It was reported in the Straits Times, in the newspaper, and it was restaged in English the following year. And by the way, the person starring as the transgender lady in both these was Selva himself. You'll get to meet Selva later. When we decided to stage it this year, we decided, well, it's the 21st century, we talk about liberation, I think we should actually involve the transgender community in a transgender play. And so, yeah, well, we've managed to, so I contacted someone to try and, to be in this reading. And as it turned out, it turned out not just to be a reading, but pretty much almost like a full-on staging of the play. It's a short play, it's only 20 minutes. The first 3 minutes are actually not translated into English, but most of it does have subtitles up there, translated by Lavanya down here. Round of applause for Lavanya. Are the actors ready? Yes, the actors are ready. Yeah. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the world of Aka.
இங்கே இருக்குமா?
இங்க வேணாங்க.
இங்கதான் யாருமே இல்லையே.
வெளிச்சமா இருக்கு.
மரம் மறைக்குதுங்க, மரம் மறைக்குது. இங்கே இருக்கும்.
வேணாங்க, வெக்கமா இருக்கு. நம்ம கொஞ்சம் உள்ளுக்கு போங்க.
அந்த இருட்டுக்கு. சரி போலாம் வாங்க. என்னையா இப்படி இருக்கணும்?
இந்த இடம் இப்படி.
என்ன என் பேர் காமினின்னு சொன்னல.
சாரிங்க, மறந்தே போயிட்டேன்.
10 வாட்டி சாரி கேக்குறீங்க. வாங்க உட்காருங்க. அங்க உட்கார்ந்து இருக்கீங்க, இங்க வாங்க கிட்ட. கிட்ட வாயா.
என்ன பண்றீங்க?
பட்டன் அமுக்குறேன். என்ன?
எதுக்கு?
படிக்கிறதுக்கு.
கமினி, நான் உங்கள்கிட்ட ஒன்று கேட்டா நீங்க தப்பா நினைக்க மாட்டீங்களே?
இந்த நேரத்தில் கேட்க போறீங்களா? ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் சர்வீஸ் கொடுப்பேன்.
ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் சர்வீஸா? இல்ல இல்ல, நான் அதை பத்தி கேட்கல. நான் வேற ஒண்ணு கேட்க போறேன். நீங்க நீங்க ஒரு நாளைக்கு எத்தனை பேரோட படிப்பீங்க?
படிப்பேனா?
படிப்பேனா? உங்களுக்கு வர கஸ்டமர்ஸ் பத்தி தான் கேக்குறேன்.
அது ஹலோ, அது என் மூட பொறுத்து இருக்கு. இதெல்லாம் கேட்டு போர் அடிக்க போறீங்களா? கிட்ட வாங்க.
மறுபடியும்
ஹலோ.
காமினி, நான் அதெல்லாம் கொண்டு வரல. நம்ம வேற ஏதாச்சும் பண்ணுமா?
இப்பதான் உங்க வீட்டுல ஒரே இல்லையா?
இல்ல, கொண்டு வரல.
ஐயோ, அப்பயே நினைச்சேன். இப்பதான் எல்லா இளைஞர்களும் ஓனர்ல எப்போதும் ஒண்ணு வச்சிருக்காங்கல்ல. இங்க இருக்கு தாங்க.
இப்பெல்லாம் நிறைய விஷயம் அங்கதான் இருக்கு போல இருக்கு.
அது நீங்களே பார்த்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கீங்க. சரி, எட்டி எட்டி போறீங்க.
இல்ல கம்பெனி, நான் கடைசியா ஒண்ணு கேட்பேன், நீ அதுக்கு மட்டும் பதில் சொல்றியா?
இங்க பாருங்க, நமக்கு இருக்கிறது 1.5 மணி நேரம் தான். அது இப்படி பேசியே போர் அடிக்க போறீங்களா?
புரியுது காமினி, ஆனா இந்த கடைசி கேள்வி.
சரி கேளுங்க.
நீ எப்படி மாறின?
மாறினேனா?
அதான் இப்படி.
நினைச்சேன். என்னடா கேட்ட பண்ற கேள்வி இல்லாம கொடுத்துட்டு ரூம் வேண்டாம் வெளியில போனோன்னு அழைச்சிட்டு வந்தது. காமத்துக்கு இல்ல, வேற காரணத்துக்கு தான். உங்களுக்கு என்னதான் வேணும்?
நான் உண்மையை சொல்லிடுறேன் காமினி. என் பேரு விஜய். நான் ஒரு பத்திரிகை ஆசிரியர்.
What?
உள்ளோடி பத்திரிகையில இருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். நான் இங்க வந்ததுக்கு காரணமே உன் கதையை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு அது இந்த சமுதாய மக்களுக்கு எடுத்து சொல்லணும்னு தான் வந்தேன். நான் இப்படிலாம் நடந்ததுக்கு காரணமே உன் மூட கெடுக்காம உன்னை பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னு தான்.
குட் பை.
கமனி ப்ளீஸ் கமனி, சொன்னா கேளு, கோவப்படாத. இங்க வரைக்கும் வந்துட்டோம், ப்ளீஸ்.
இங்க பாருங்க, நான் இங்க வந்தது உங்க காம பசியை தீர்க்கத்தான். என் கதை ஒன்னும் பெட்டாம் ஸ்டோரி இல்ல. நீங்க எழுதி அவங்க படிச்சு அதை விட்டு எரியறதுக்கு
இல்ல கமனி. நான் சொல்றது கேளு, நான் அதுக்கு இங்க வரல. நான் அப்படிப்பட்டவனும் இல்ல.
What nonsense.
கமனி, I respect you கமனி. கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சு பாரு. நீ பட்ட கஷ்டங்கள், உன்னை பத்தி உண்மைகள் எல்லாமே வெளிவராம போயிடும்.
அப்பனா ஏன் முன்னாடியே நீங்க உங்க நோக்கத்தை சொல்லல?
சொன்ன நீ சம்மதிக்க மாட்டேன்னு தான்.
இப்ப மட்டும் சம்மதம்னு சொல்லியா போறேன்?
நான் தான் முதல்ல சொன்னல, உன்னை பத்தி உண்மைகளை தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும், அது வெளிக்கொண்டு வரணும் காமினி. காமினி புரிஞ்சுக்கோ காமினி. உன்ன மாதிரியே வெளியே எத்தனை பேர் இருக்காங்கன்னு தெரியுமா? அவங்களும் இதே மாதிரி கஷ்டப்படணுமா காமினி? கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சு பாரு. இந்த சமுதாயம் நீ பட்ட கஷ்டங்களை உணரணும். நீ சிந்திருக்க ரத்தத்துக்கு கண்ணீர் வடிக்கணும் காமினி. உன்னையும் ஒரு பொண்ணா ஏற்றுக்கொண்டு மதிக்கணும் காமினி.
காமன். என் பேரு காமன். வயசு 24. 9 பேர் உள்ள குடும்பத்துல கடைசியா கடைக்குட்டியா பிறந்தேன். இதுல என்ன விசேஷம்னா, என் குடும்பத்துல பெண் குழந்தைகளே கிடையாது. அந்த குறைய தீர்க்க எங்க அம்மா என்ன பொட்டு வச்சு பூ முடிச்சு அழகு பார்ப்பாங்க. பொண்ணுக்கு பொண்ணா கண்ணுக்கு கண்ணா வளர்ந்தேன். காலப்போக்குல அம்மா முந்தானை புடிச்சுக்கிட்டு தான் எப்போதும் சுத்துவேன். சமையல் செய்யறதுல இருந்து புடவை எடுக்கிறது வரைக்கும் எல்லாத்தையும் கத்துக்கிட்டேன். பார்வைக்கு ஆணாகவும் உள்ளத்துல பெண்ணாகவும் வளர்ந்தேன். ஸ்கூல் படிக்கும் போது கூட அதிகமா கேர்ள்ஸ் தான் என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். என்ன செய்யறது, உருவத்துல ஆம்பளை பையனா இருக்கேன்னு. அதுவும் ஸ்கூல் ECA பயிற்சியின் போது கூட மற்ற ஆண்கள் முன்னாடி ஆடையை மாத்த வெக்கப்பட்டுக்கிட்டு அவங்க ஆடையை மாத்துற பிறகுதான் நான் மாத்துவேன். இதுக்காகவே லேட்டா பயிற்சிக்கு போவேன். ஆசிரியர் எனக்கு பல முறை திட்டம் தண்டனையும் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க.
இது அப்போ உன் வீட்டுல அப்பா அம்மா கூட பிறந்தவங்க அவங்களாம் உன் நடவடிக்கை கவனிக்கலையா?
அம்மாவோட செல்ல பிள்ளையா இருக்கிறதுனால என்னை யாரும் திட்ட மாட்டாங்க. அப்பாவும் வேலை முடிஞ்சு லேட்டா வீட்டுக்கு வர்றதுனால என்னை பார்த்து பழகிறதுக்கு அவருக்கு வாய்ப்பு கிடைக்காது.
சரி, அப்புறம்
O levels படிப்பை முடிச்சுட்டு ரிசல்ட்ஸ்க்காக காத்துக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். அந்த சமயத்துல எங்க அப்பா வேலைன்னு உடம்ப சரியா கவனிச்சுக்காம இறந்து போனாரு.
அப்பா இறந்து போயிட்டாரா? அப்ப உங்க அம்மா
அந்த கவலையிலயும் துக்கத்திலயும் நோய்வாய்ப்பட்டு அவங்க ஒரு பக்கம் ஊனமானாங்க.
ஊனமாயிட்டாங்களா?
ஆமா,
ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருந்திருக்குமே.
ரொம்ப கஷ்டம்தான். எங்க அண்ணனுங்க ஒவ்வொருத்தரா கல்யாணம் செஞ்சு கொண்டாங்க. ஆனா எனக்கு அண்ணியா வந்தவங்க அம்மாவை கவனிக்க அறிவிக்கப்பட்டு தனி கொடுத்தனம் போக ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. வேண்டாம் வெறுப்போட என் மூத்த அண்ணன் மட்டும் எங்க கூடயே இருந்தாரு. இந்த கஷ்டமான காலகட்டத்தில் தான் நான் என் காலேஜ் படிப்பை படிச்சு முடிச்சேன். எங்க அம்மாவை குளிப்பாட்டி துணி உடுத்தி சாப்பாடு ஊட்டுற வர நான் தான் செஞ்சேன். இந்த சோகமான நேரத்துல எனக்கு ஆறுதலா இருந்தது என் அக்கா நண்பர்களுக்கு மட்டும்தான். பல நாள் இரவுல அம்மாவை தூங்க வச்சுட்டு என் அக்கா நண்பர்களோட வெளியில போவேன்.
எங்க போவீங்க?
எல்லாரும் ஒரு பப்ளிக் டாய்லெட்ல போய் கொஞ்சமா மேக்கப் போட்டுட்டு நல்லா செக்ஸியா உடுத்திட்டு அந்த ஆர்ச்சர்ட் ரோடே சுத்தி வருவோம்.
ஓ, ஆர்ச்சர்ட்னா அந்த ஆர்ச்சர்ட் ஹவுஸ் பக்கத்துல.
அப்புறம் அந்த நேரத்துல என் கவலையெல்லாம் மறந்து ஜாலியா இருப்பேன்.
அப்புறம் என்ன நடந்துச்சு?
இந்த காலகட்டத்துல இடி விழுந்தது போல ஒரு செய்தி வந்துச்சு.
உங்க அம்மா
நோ ஆர்மி என்லிஸ்ட்மென்ட்.
அப்ப அது எப்படி சமாளிச்சீங்க?
ஆர்மிக்கு போனா தானே சைக்காட்ரிக் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் போனேன். 302ன்னு மெடிக்கல்ல ஆர்மியை விட்டு விரட்டிட்டாங்க.
அப்படியா?
ஒரு வழியா பெரிய கண்டத்தை தாண்டிய ஒரு சந்தோஷம். சந்தோஷத்தை முழுமையா அனுபவிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே துக்கம் அதை தொடர்ந்து வந்தது. அம்மா இறந்து போனாங்க.
யார் பாத்துக்கிட்டா?
நிம்மதிக்காக அடிக்கடி அக்கா நண்பர்களோட வெளியே போக ஆரம்பிச்சேன்.
சரி, அம்மா போயிட்டாங்க. உங்க வீட்டுல தான் மூத்த அண்ணன் இருந்தாங்களே, அவங்களோட மனைவி, உங்க அண்ணி.
எங்க அண்ணன் அண்ணி என்ன பாரமா நினைக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. தொட்டதுக்கெல்லாம் குற்றம் கண்டுபிடிச்சு என்னை வீட்டை விட்டு விரட்டும்படி அண்ணி அடிக்கடி அண்ணன்கிட்ட சொல்லுவாங்க. என் அண்ணன் கொஞ்சம் என் மேல மிஞ்சி இருந்த பாசத்தினால எப்படி சொல்றது தெரியாம இருந்தாரு. ஆனா பிறகுதான் தெரியும் அது பாசம் இல்ல, என் சம்பளத்துக்குன்னு. பல ராத்திரி நான் என் நிலைமையை நினைச்சு கஷ்டப்பட்டிருக்கேன். எனக்கு உதவி செய்யும் யாருமே இல்ல. போகிற பாதை சில நேரம் தப்புன்னு தெரிஞ்சும் வேற வழி இல்லாம நிம்மதிக்காக அந்த பாதையிலே போனேன்.
இரு, அப்பனா நீ ஆனா தெரிஞ்சுதான் இதுல காலை வச்சிருக்கேன்.
ஆமா, அந்த பாலம் கிணத்துல தான் தள்ளிவிடப்பட்டேன். இறக்கம் இல்லாத பாசமற்ற சில மனிதர்களால என் வாழ்க்கை வழி மாறி போனுச்சு. அடிக்கடி இரவுல நண்பர்களோட, அதாவது என் அக்கா நண்பர்களோட டிராக் பார்ட்டிக்கு போவேன்.
டிராக் பார்ட்டியா?
டிராக் பார்ட்டி ஒரு நல்ல மேக்கப்பை போட்டுக்கிட்டு நல்லா குடுக்கி கிடுக்கி ஆர்ச்சர்ட் ரோட போயிட்டு வெளிநாட்டுல மயக்குவோம். அவங்க நைட் கிளப்க்கு கூட்டிட்டு போய் மதுபானம் வாங்கி கொடுப்பாங்க. கொஞ்சம் சிலர் ஹோட்டல் ரூமுக்கு போய் ஜாலியா இருப்போம். இந்த மாதிரி இன்னும் பல கெட்ட பழக்கங்களை கத்துக்கிட்டேன். என்கிட்ட இருந்த பெண்மை மலர தொடங்குது. பல ஆண்கள் கூட பழகணும், அவங்கள ருசிச்சு பார்க்கணும். அந்த ஆசை நாளுக்கு நாள் கூடிக்கிட்டே போச்சு. நண்பர்களோட தூண்டுதல்னால என் ஐப்ரோ முடிய திருத்தம் செஞ்சேன். தலைமுடி நீட்டமா வளர்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன். தங்கியோ கிளினிக் போய் ஹோமோன் பில்ஸ் வாங்கி சாப்பிட்டு மார்புகளை வளர்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன்.
உடல் மாற்றத்தை உன் வீட்டுல யாரும் கவனிக்கலையா?
நான் முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி என் மேல அக்கறை இருந்தாதான் என்னை கவனிக்க. அது மட்டும் இல்ல, வீட்டுல நான் யாரோடும் முகம் பார்த்து பேச மாட்டேன். பெரிய சட்டைகளை அணிஞ்சு என் மார்புகளை மறைச்சு கொள்வேன். ஒரு நாள் வீட்டுல யாருமே இல்ல. குளிச்சுட்டு சட்டையை அணியாம ரூமுக்கு போய்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். அந்த நேரத்துல திடீர்னு எங்க அண்ணன் வந்தாரு.
உங்க அண்ணன் வந்துட்டாரா? ஐயோ, அப்புறம் என்னாச்சு?
கதவை திறந்தது. எங்க அண்ணன் தெரியாம ஜாலியா நடந்து போயிட்டு இருந்தேன். திடீர்னு அண்ணனை பார்த்தோன்னே ரூமுக்கு ஓடி போயிட்டேன். கொஞ்ச நேரம் சென்று எங்க அண்ணன் ரூமுக்கு வந்தாரு. சொல்லவே வெக்கமா இருக்கு. என்னோட ஆடைய தூக்கி என் மார்புல தடவ ஆரம்பிச்சாரு. பயந்து போய் நானு விலகி ஓடுனேன். என்னை இழுத்து அவரோட ஆண் உறுப்பத்தோட செஞ்சாரு. பிறகு சொல்லவே வெக்கமா இருக்கு. இது என்ன, மறுநாள் என்னை இழுத்து அடிச்சு வீட்டு விட்டு போக சொன்னாரு.
வீட்டு விட்டே துரத்திட்டாரா? அப்ப நீ தனியா என்ன பண்ண?
அந்த நேரத்துல எனக்கு உதவி செய்யவும் யாருமே இல்ல. என் அக்கா நண்பர்கள் தான் என் கூட இருந்தாங்க. எவ்வளவு நாள் தான் நான் அவங்களோட இருப்பது. நானே ஒரு ரூமை வாடகைக்கு பிடிச்சி தனியா போனேன். ஆனா அங்கேயும் எனக்கு நிம்மதி இல்ல. என் வீக்னஸையும் தனிமையும் புரிஞ்சு சில ஆளு காம பிடிச்ச செலவு என்னை அடிக்கடி துன்புறுத்தி வற்புறுத்தி செக்ஸ் செய்வாங்க. அது மட்டுமா, நான் சேர்த்து வச்ச கொஞ்சம் நெஞ்ச பணத்தையும் திருடிட்டு போயிருவானுங்க.
என்ன கம்பெனி இவ்வளவு சர்வ சாதாரணமா சொல்ற? போய் போலீஸ்ல புகார் பண்ணிருக்கலாம்ல? போலீஸ்க்கு போனனால என்ன திருப்பியும் அதே ரவுடிங்க மேலும் கொடுமை பண்ணாங்க. போதும் இந்த வாழ்க்கைன்னு நினைச்சு பல முறை தற்கொலை செய்ய கூட போனேன். அப்ப கூட என் அக்கா நண்பர்கள் தான் என் உதவிக்கு வந்தாங்க. எங்க போகக்கூடாதுன்னு நினைச்சனோ அந்த இடத்துக்கு தான் போகணும்னு, போய் நிம்மதி கிடைக்கும்னு சொன்னாங்க. அந்த இடத்துக்கு போனேன். அதான் எங்க?
ஜோஹர்.
என்ன கம்பெனி சொல்ற? உன்ன மாதிரி ஆளுக்கு உதவி செய்யதான் நிறைய நிலையங்கள் இருக்கு. நீ அவங்கள நாடி போயிருக்கலாம்ல?
ஆமா, கூட பிறந்தவங்களே என்ன ஒதுக்கின பிறகு வேற எதுக்காக நான் வாழணும்? அப்ப நான் அனுபவித்த துன்பங்க, மனசுல நிம்மதி இல்லாம குழப்பம், இதையெல்லாம் சேர்த்து என் வாழ்க்கையை மாத்துச்சு. என் நண்பர்கள் கூறினபடி அப்ப அந்த அட்வைஸ் சரின்னு தான் பட்டுச்சு. என் பேரை மாத்தினேன். காமனி அவனை ரத்த பல சிந்தி இரவு பகல உழைச்சி செக்ஸிங் செஞ்சுக்கிட்டேன். அப்புறம் காவலுக்கு எப்போதும் 2 மாமாக்களை வச்சுக்கிட்டு சந்தோஷமா இருப்பேன். கை நிறைய சம்பாதிச்சேன். என்ன கேவலமா நினைச்சானுங்களே என் அண்ணனுங்க, என்கிட்டயே கடன் கேட்கிற அளவுக்கு மாத்தினேன். எல்லோ கார்டு எடுத்துக்கிட்டு உலகத்துல ராணியா வாழ்ந்தேன். ஆனா என்ன மாதிரி யாரும் பிறக்க கூடாது. அப்படியே பிறந்தலாம் கூட இந்த நரக வாழ்க்கைக்கு படக்கூடாது. என்ன போல கஷ்டப்படும் பலரு என் கூட தான் இருக்காங்க. அங்கேயும் நாங்க விரும்பி இந்த வாழ்க்கைக்கு வரணும்னு பலர் நினைக்கிறாங்க. ஆனா நாங்க இந்த வாழ்க்கைக்கு வந்த காரணமே இந்த பாலாப்போட சமுதாய மக்கள் தான். எங்களை எப்ப அவங்கள ஒருத்தரா ஏத்துக்கொண்டு எங்களை மதிக்கிறாங்களோ அப்பதான் எங்களுக்கு விடுவு காலம்.
நீ சொல்றது எனக்கு புரியுது கமலி. அதுக்காகதான் நான் இங்க வந்திருக்கேன். இந்த சமுதாயம், எந்த சமுதாயம் உன்னை இந்த பாலகத்துல தள்ளிச்சோ அதே சமுதாயம் உன்னை ஏத்துக்கும். அதுபடி நான் பண்றேன். இந்த சமுதாயம் உன்னை மதிக்கும் கமலி. இதே சமுதாயம் உன்னையும் ஒரு பொண்ணா ஏத்துக்கும் கமலி.
சமுதாயம் சமுதாயம் சமுதாயம். I don't give a damn for your சமுதாயம்.
கமலி 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 சொன்னா கேளு கமலி.
Organizers of this event, Purple Alliance, a group, on your program you'll see that group devoted to exploring diversity and discrimination within the LGBT community. And of course, I also really want to thank the performers who've been involved tonight. Mathavan on the veena. Yeah, the music, man, the music really good. Oh yes, you've got flowers! Sonia Pravina, you asked, are you feeling tonight? Suresh Subhash, our leading gentleman. And he gets blue flowers. And oh yes, once again our subtitle translator and operator Lavanya. And perhaps most importantly, the playwright G. Silva. I also give you flowers.
Yes. And on the behalf of Indignation and One Theatre, we would like to give a bouquet of flowers to Sujit for organizing all this.
Now, I have done all this thank youing because I know that, some of you might have to rush off, but we are going to have a panel discussion later, and because you were stuck outside for so long, that the panel discussions are really interesting and keep people in here for pretty long. I'm going, in case you guys want to leave early, leave first, please be aware, okay, we are unfortunately not paying the Avant Theatre and for their wonderful production tonight, which means that you guys, it would be awesome if you guys put something in the donation bowl outside. I'd also like to remind you that there is a full calendar of events happening as part of Indignation. Like there's tomorrow at 6 p.m. we're at Honglin Park. We're actually having a rally in solidarity with the LGBT people in Russia. It's called To Russia with Love. Next Saturday at 4 p.m. at Theatre Works, we're having a talk about called Southeast Asia, about LGBT issues in Southeast Asia. And at 7:30 p.m. we're having Contradiction, which is an evening of LGBT literature and music. So, yes, I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes to like mingle and like move around before we meet our four panel. Vanessa Ho is is the program coordinator for Project X Singapore. Project X, as some of you will know, is an organization that advocates for sex workers' rights in Singapore and is committed to ending all verbal, physical, and emotional violence against them. Vanessa has received an MA in Gender Society and Representation from UCL and a Bachelor's in Economics from Warwick. You wrote this stuff down.
I told Sujit not to put it in.
Okay, yeah.
It was like, must
Basically,
standardize.
Yeah. Okay, yes, yeah. So, yeah, she got a ma, she got a biscuit.
It's very tasty when you eat it.
Selva Ganesan has a bachelor's in honors in media arts and drama from Deakin. But okay, more importantly, he was awarded the most popular celebrity award by MediaCorp Television in 2001. He's also the artistic director of Avant Theatre, and he's written, directed, and acted in more than 50 plays in English and Tamil, locally and abroad.
Thank you.
Sonia Pravina, daughter of Govindasamy, has been a transgender. Wait, should I just say Sonia Pravina Govindasamy has been a trans woman for the past 20 years. Is that awkward? Yeah, like just... Okay, she's a professional dancer specializing in traditional Indian dance. In her free time, she also volunteers with various organizations as a peer educator, educating her fellow sex workers about keeping safe at work, as well as issues regarding transgender health. She's currently taking a certificate in makeup in order to set up her own makeup company. And she's married with her transport company owner husband, and is raising an adopted 4-year-old boy. Oh, sorry, because we were talking about makeup, I really want to say a big thank you to Sonia's friend Davitra back there who did makeup.
Who did the cameo role?
Yes, she also did a cameo role at the beginning as the lady who was too good for that Suresh rubbish. Vijay. Yes, but there are some people who are too good. Yeah, okay. And also accompanying us is a last-minute addition to the lineup. We have Sandhya Thomas. Yeah, who is. Who is a sex worker and peer educator amongst them. Vanessa and Sonia invited her to be a part of the panel because Lynette Chua, who is on this panel originally, she got out of hospital late and she's still sedated. But yes, okay, I know a lot of you guys have questions about this, but so I'm just going to ask Selva to open by explaining how the circumstances under which you wrote Aka.
Okay. But before I start this discussion, might take a little bit of time. Tomorrow is Sonia's birthday, so we are going to cut a cake. Now Madhavan is going to give us an Indian rendition of Happy Birthday. He just said Piranal Valthakal. Madhavan, you are ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It's like sticky. Yeah. It is sticky. And it's white.
Creamy.
Creamy.
It's creamy.
I need a bit extra. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
White and creamy.
Okay, we started Akai in 1991. It was inspiration based on everything that was happening around me. There was so much of stories about how these transgender women or transsexual, they were suffering at that period. So I spoke to a couple of them and they gave me a lot of inspirational stories and but I wanted the play to have an academic, should I use academic? Intelligent effect to the audience. So a lot of research was done and thanks to the press at that time, they gave us a very good publicity and coverage and it was a big hit then. Most of the incidents are true to a certain extent, like sex studying at home, abuse studying at home, being beaten up by outsiders, you know, somehow you are pushed into something that you don't want to do. These are the aspects that I covered. Yeah, we'll talk as we go.
Okay, and as always, I wanted to, as before, I wanted to ask our three fellow panelists about their reactions to this play. Vanessa, you're the only one who wasn't here. No, you guys watched earlier, so you can talk about both the runs you watched.
Okay, so I obviously caught more the second round, but I think the reactions I have is this play was written 23 years ago, and it seems like I started work with Project X 2 years ago. And it still seems like a lot of the issues that you have discussed in your play are still relevant today. And I think that's a very sad thing.
And I guess that's why it is so current and attracts so much of people to come and see it. Because some of the issues are very relevant to what is happening now, or what is happening among some of our friends.
I thought like Tamil play about transgender people, just 30 people can this cafe one night or can, there's so many people. Actually, yes, Sandhya, would you like to comment about your reaction to the play as well?
To the play, 23 years ago was a quite long time, but as Vanessa said, the same problems we are still facing it now. And the only thing about from this play is that we thank directors involved for playwriting this and again, and hope this play will actually go further and improve the life of transgenders in Singapore. Not only in Singapore, if possible, across
the Tamil-speaking world. Take it to Jaffa.
I am sure with the wonderful support of most of y'all, I'm sure we can restage this sometime next year. So, let's see how it goes.
the larger scale.
Before I ask you about it again, Sonia, I wanted to rehash the story of how Sonia ended up getting cast for this role. Okay, first of all, I wasn't 100% sure if we should do Aka, so I went to, yes, my boyfriend happens to be Tamil, he's Mohan back there standing up in the glasses. Yeah, so I showed the script to him, he said, yeah, very nice, do it. So and I said, okay, but it's the 21st century, I'd like to get a trans woman to play the role, but how many Tamil-speaking trans women are there? I mean, I'm a Chinese cisgender gay boy. I didn't know that many Tamil-speaking trans women. So, but at Pink Dot, at the Pink Dot briefing, I happened to meet a lady called Priyanka. Priya, are you in the house? Yeah. Priya, woo! And I mentioned this play to Priya, and Priya was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then there was a few scheduling problems, and Priya told me that Priya had to back out, but she gave me Sandhya's number, and then I spoke to Sandhya saying like, will you do it? And it was like, yeah, but it's written in Tamil, right? And I took Malay in school, and so I like okay, because Speaking Tamil is not the same as reading Tamil. Tamil is a really literary, difficult language.
Exercise to the tongue.
Yeah. Oh man. and so but he said, oh, I have a friend who's really good at Tamil. Why don't you call up Sonia? And I remember telling Mohan like, how many Tamil trans women have I got to call in one night? So yes, but Sonia said yes, and as you know, like most of the people here haven't heard you, and Sonia, you were explaining why you felt it was important to be involved in this play. Yes.
As what I said, actually 23
Yeah, 22.
23 years ago when I was just a kid, but I had a feeling on that time. I really like what they did. Aka drama was like 23 years old. I saw the newspaper and Straits Times. So that time there were like so many people out there, but now after so many years ago, I find that I'm so happy to do this role. I'm really happy. And Mr. Silva has taught me a lot of things. Not only him, also Mr. Suresh has taught me a lot of Tamil words. Tamil words. And nice scolding from my teacher. Thanks, and his team. Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm sure we've got a lot of burning questions now. May I open the mic?
Don't be shy.
Yes, yeah. Tahira.
Do you need a mic?
No, it's okay. You mentioned that you had a lot of media coverage when you were Akka 23 years ago. Why did the Vasanam Central here to support this wonderful?
Vasanam will never support all these things. Even then, it was part of Fortnight Theatre, NEC's Fortnight Theatre. So we had 4 mini plays. But all the other 3 was telecast on TV, and they refused to cover Akka. So the state is still relevant now, like some of the issues.
Is anyone still performing those 3 plays?
But they have like dialogue sessions, I think, right, on TV, like this show, and I don't know what it's called. It's at like 9 p.m. or something. And
Yeah, some talk show.
Yeah. And then we have transgender people like arguing with people about why they matter and stuff. So why do they give dialogue sessions but not allow? Why do you feel like they don't allow this, which is a form of awareness to be shown on TV or like covered?
I really can't answer for them, but I think they're still very conservative in so many ways because it's national TV. They have certain criteria as to how much they can show or what exactly they can show. It has to be scripted correctly. So I think in that sense, they are very conservative in their approach.
There's also the element of sex work that was featured in the play. Was Yellow Card in your original script as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously that's like state open secret, so I'm guessing that's why it didn't get telecasted as well.
Yeah, possible. You all know what is a yellow card?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Ask the experts.
Sandhya.
Yellow card is actually a medical card scheme. So in Singapore, soliciting is legal, and if it's under the eye of government, it's legal, and if you're soliciting outside, it's illegal. So in yellow card system, we actually go for a medical checkup for every 28 days. And so as a Singaporean, the criteria is either you're a woman or you're a trans woman, and you got to be non-Muslim. And if you're a foreigner, you work for 2 years, and after 2 years, you kiss goodbye to Singapore. You don't come back to Singapore.
Wait, you can't be a Muslim sex worker.
No.
I mean, even if you're a Singapore citizen.
Yes.
You can't be a Muslim legal sex worker,
Oh, good.
but you can be illegal lah, so you can just do it by yourself without getting the yellow card.
I'm just curious, do you need to be fully transitioned to get a yellow card, or can you get it while you're transitioning?
Years back, you do not need to be transitioned, but now current criteria is you need to have your sex changed in order to do this work.
Any other questions? Yes.
How does it feel like gender minority was happen to be an ethnic minority?
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. I think no. Sorry, we are. Well, actually, you're. No. Okay. Gender minority.
Gender minority, I mean,
Men are also a gender minority. There are more women than men. Okay, no, you guys stop.
if we are talking about ethnicity in Singapore, okay, in gender in Tamil society, in Indian society itself, we are celebrated in certain extent. To the same extent, also we are looked down upon. So if you are like, there's this group, okay, we refer you to God, you bless us. At the same time, and another group, they, what is this, this aqua, you see aqua, in very derogative term. So celebrated and 50-50.
Actually, Sonia, don't you want to give your own perspective? Actually, I think there are other people in the house who are also gender and sexual minorities. I'm sure like the Malay or Eurasian experience is going to be different as well. But Sonia, do you want to say a bit like, so basically, is it what, do you want to say anything else? So what is it like to be, to be an Indian trans woman?
To become an Indian transgender.
No, like, I mean, how is it different? How is being an Indian trans woman different from being an Indian?
And being a
cis
minority
woman?
itself, and being a transgender itself, to actually go into the workforce is very, very difficult. Seriously. I mean, no offense anybody lah. So if you are a Chinese, you are a transgender, to get a job, 80%. You are a Malay, you are a transgender, to get a job, 65 to 50%. You are an Indian, you are a transgender, to get a normal job, 20%. That's it. I ever went for a job interview because I do speak Mandarin. And in the phone somehow I managed to sound Chinese. So when I interview, you're Indian, you sounded Chinese. Yeah, but I speak Mandarin. No, because you are going to serve Chinese clients. I do speak Mandarin. We will call you back. And that's it lah. And they say call you back, we know what the answer is lah.
Yeah, people talk about saying like we need to have a law that protects gay people and trans people from discrimination, and I go, well, we don't even have one that protects from racial discrimination, and I think that's more important. They say, oh yeah, that's what we see in the pledge doesn't matter.
So it is like practice what you preach lah, but it is not being practiced. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, yeah, this is, I think, a question. Are there any other trans women from or trans people from who are not Chinese in the house who want to talk about this issue? Oh, yeah, sorry, lady in.
I can't translate. Definitely not transgender. However, I do have something that I want to bring up, because from the previous panel discussion, there were a couple of things that came up, I think, which is really important for people to know. Okay. The first thing is that within the Indian community, there's a very derogative term of 9, the number 9. So when you look at somebody who is transgender of nature, you would whisper, hey, right? I have now come to realize why they are called that, and I think the people here should know about it. And the other thing was what Sava mentioned in the previous panel about the term tirunangai, right? Which I did have a conversation with Satya before, that I as a person had thought that the term tirunangai actually was a very polite term, that it was away from the derogative ombode or he's mixed or he's gay, but yet I found out that the word tirunangai is also derogative in a way. So I think it is good for the people here to hear it from her and the people at the panel about why this is so. So that we change our perception.
Okay, for the word umbode, I will talk about the word. Umbode, they will call us, okay, because some people out there will think that we are not fully women, but we all dress up like a woman. We are like, we're walking like a woman. We are, we make up like a woman, everything. But these people will think of themselves that we are not reaching the 10 points of a girl. You know what is the 1 point is? Is that we can't give birth. Even though we are married, we are having sex and all that, we still can't give birth. So it's like -1 point, and we will become umbode. This is the thing. And for tirunangai, let her talk.
Then back to the Ombodu part. So I'll explain English. So if you're talking about 9 and 10, okay, this is the non-censored part. So as for female, they actually have 10 orifices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then your vagina, and your urethra and your anus. So that's 10. For guys, they only have 9. So they are still telling us, okay, you might dress as a girl, you might do whatever as a girl, you might do anything as a girl, but you are still short of that one particular hole. Okay, as for Tiru Nange, Tiru means Mr. Nange means woman. So if you're telling, okay, Tiru, you are half man and you are half woman. So since we, as trans women, we already have gone for our sex change, so, and we are identified as women, we want to be known as women, not a third gender or not half man, half woman.
Are there any other questions about, about this issue or others? Yeah, okay, gentleman back there.
Okay, actually, to say I really like this play because you gave a very personal touch to it. Instead of going on a more social kind of a outlook, you gave a personal story that actually is relatable and some of us may even know about it. So I'd like to ask the actress who played the role, after relating such a personal story, what is your final reaction to the issue? I mean, do you still feel anger, resentment, or have you come to a state of resignation, or have you gotten a more positive outlook on things? What is your final reaction?
After I play this role, I think from here we start to welcome us, not to put us one side, just to respect us. We don't need your money, we just love you people, but you don't love us. We are put aside. Because of that, we have our own family, which means among the trans women, we have a family inside our society. Because of what? You people are not expecting, respecting us. You people putting us aside and all that. After this play, I think these people will all wake up.
Looks like it's a very positive outlook after this play.
There's actually a line in the play which really disturbs me that says, it would be better for people like us not to be born. I mean, to me, that's really shocking. I'm surprised that I was actually surprised that more trans women didn't have an issue with that line.
So as for that particular sentence, for example, when you are a man, when you walk down the street, the society, the world see you as a man. When a woman walks down the street, the society just see a woman as a woman. But when we transgender, when we walk down the street, we are seen in many, many aspects. One is first we are seen as a sex object, which we are not a sex object. It is not relevant. This is a general topic. I'm not telling that the girls here we are very easy. Like for a normal guy to go out with a girl, 6 months in the road or a year in the road, then only he will start to think about having sex with her. But when they are going out with us, the next 5 minutes, will you blow me? Okay, that is what's happening. And secondly, like what Sonia said, see us as a human being. We do not want to be shunned. I mean, we do not choose this life, But recently only, when all these issues being brought up, because when we actually the day we were formed in our mother's womb, the X and Y chromosomes. So everybody here, Selva here, Yishan here, the first 3 months in your fetushood, you're actually a female. And later which is, why? XY chromosomes, male. X chromosomes, female. So the egg itself is X chromosomes. Then later wise, when this brain here, okay, you are not, when the X and Y chromosomes align, that is when you are known as a male baby. Then the chemical release and you become a man, everything, baby boy. But the sad part for us is the body recognized it, but the brain did not recognize that we are a male baby. So that's what's happening to us. Seriously, we go there very young. People are just thinking, okay, 16 years old, then only we decide to change after we know our sexual orientation, but that's not true. From the age of 1, I know that I am a girl. I mean, it goes to every transgender sisters here.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Are there any more questions? Yes.
We are talking about
transgenders versus society. But what about within the LGBTQ community, where do you face like problems with the gay people and vice versa? Because I have like when I come back from JB, I once had like this transgender woman who shouted at me saying, "Oh, you know, you all are from what she said, Namla Betty dog, you already have cut already, you know, you all are like not even there." So do you face like, you know, problems with
Yeah, we do face the same problem with people from the gay society. Like recently, a few years back, when we had this, I had a chance to actually go to play the gay club. So when I went there, I was very happy. You know, okay, eventually because when we first started, none of us came as female first. So we transitioned from childhood. Then we had gay friends. Then later we found out that okay, we are very in touch with our women's side, and that is where we start taking hormones and transition to trans women. Then when we see our own people, hey, he's also gay, okay, hi. And then he just gave me this look. So I was wondering, hey, why you give me this look? Then I just gave him this look.
So this is why maybe the person you met in JB, maybe this is why, you know, she has a problem before. So I think when she sees
a two-way traffic, how I treat you, you treat me, I treat you back. So it's like we are actually like mirror, you know. You smile at me, I smile at you. You stare at me, I stare at you. You show me fingers, I show many fingers to you.
Just one more question. Because I come from this group that's part of Purple Line, is independent. And we always have to go to Tekka in the end. We always go past, you know, Daskar Road and Royal Road. I think we always wanted to go and, you know, approach, to talk to them and get to know them, but we don't dare to. So,
but like I say, respect is a two-way traffic. You approach me nicely, we approach you nicely also. At the end of the day, we are from the same society, LGBT. We are under the same umbrella.
Can I just say something? You went to Daskar Road? Maybe they never on lah, you know. Maybe they never have no customer back mode. You also same category. Maybe you know you're walking outside, we are sitting inside same category. You win me how? Maybe angry, okay? Out of the Daskar Road and the straight to the. Let me talk. This place.
No offenses.
No offenses,
No offenses.
We love you people. We come from you.
For a guy to bring us back to his house, the moment we bring us back to his house, the mother see us, அப்படி கேட்பாங்க, you know, they will ask us that question. But if he's going to bring you to the house, they will just, no lah man, he's very soft. So he's like that. So don't look down on him, don't judge him. We are normal friends, but in the room different things happen. But when he brings you to the house, எதுக்கு அது room போட்டு போற? Because they know what's going to happen.
Can I just add, speaking from a personal experience working with Project X. So Project X, we do that. We go out to the streets to look, to distribute condoms to the women, but also to understand their stories and to advocate for human rights for all. We did have a little run-in with the Pink Dot committee because they decided that, you know, even though we work with a lot of transgender sex workers, they didn't think that we were sort of family-friendly enough, and that as a result, we weren't allowed to have our own booth at Pink Dot, and we weren't allowed to sort of talk about sex work. So it's okay if we talk about transgender rights, it's fine. But when it comes to sex work, then they start, oh, regardless of how intertwined the issues may be, how intersectional they might be, it's hard for people to understand that. And I think, I don't want to put Pink Dot out there as sort of the beacon of the gay community in Singapore, but they are one of the more visible ones. So I think that's just one example of a rift, I guess.
Can I just mention what happened? Okay, oh wait, do you want Jean?
I want to ask the scriptwriter. I noticed one part you write about incest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know what was your intention in writing it. I'll tell you the reason why.
Yeah, okay, based on the research that I did, most of the abuse starts from home. Brothers, uncles, fathers, brothers. You know, it starts from home, and that's how I was inspired to put that across. And Sandhya told me many stories in her life, and some of it was so relevant.
Because my sexual abuse started when I was the age of 9. when I didn't know anything at the age of 9. Then followed by, because at that time, in the age of 9, and okay, when I'm just thinking, I feel like I'm a girl. I feel like I'm very soft, everything. At a tender age when you are abused, that brings a very big question mark in your life. Why must this happen to me? And this continued till the age of 13. And every person I see is like they're either after one thing. At the age we can't say anything to our parents. And sad to say, but mostly incest itself, sexual abuse starts in the family itself first.
Maybe you can explain.
The reason I asked is because I have a really good friend, an Indian filmmaker. She made films about incest in Indian families. And it's a problem. No, I'm not saying it's true, I just told you. According to her, that it's an issue that has not been addressed. So, I don't know whether it's true, but my question comes in 3 parts. The third part is, I want to expand more, because you're saying first you're Indian, and then let you know the intersection between your race, your sexual orientation, and your gender identity. 3, yeah? So how do they intersect to create new and different kind of discrimination that you don't see among other transgenders? That's what I want to know. Is incest being abused in the family part of it, or is not, or is it just a transgender problem?
I think it was, from me I can't speak in the many levels that you're asking, but I think the lifestyle or our living standard during that period was very communal, because most of the guys sleep outside, and then they tend to put their legs on top of each other and blah blah blah. Because of our lifestyle, such practices were induced.
I mean, incest is not only in the Indian community itself. It's not only in the Indian community itself. It happens in many sorts of community as well. But from what I read a book before, it's about a sex offender. It's also said he was also sexually abused. Then to vent his anger, he became a molester. So, and this group, okay, I'm transgender being soft by nature, so we became okay, it's okay, or my uncle, or my whatever, my cousin brother, he did that to me. So he see me as a girl, so that's why I'm like this. Then for those guys who are much more in touch with their masculine side, they were like, okay, since I was abused when I was a child, so I will do that in return to the society. That is what happening,
So are you saying that because you're trans and from young, that the people felt people abuse you because sexually, because they single you out for being different?
Maybe they signal out us for being different. No?
I don't think it's just being different. I think it's the lifestyle as well. I think we Indians are very highly sexually driven. I don't know, I'm just making an open remark. I think it's our lifestyle that added to the whole problem. Yes.
I'm going to stay in topic. Do you face discrimination from transgender members of other ethnicities? Primarily, dominant races.
Oh no, we don't. How to say? We are a society within a society itself. It's just that we push each another. So I have Chinese friends. So when I'm down, we will just turn, because they push us up. Okay, you improve yourself. You do this, you do that. That's what they do to us. Then some like for Malay transgender, most of the Malay transgender, they are very well known in the makeup industry. So and they also like, okay, I will help you this time. Okay, I will do this for you. Do this. That's what we are in our society itself. Like how I say, the Chinese saying, the chopsticks together, we stand separate, we fall.
Is that a saying?
Chinese saying, right?
Is it? Yes. Okay. It's nearly take the rest of the questions together. Who here still wants to ask questions? Okay, so we'll take both your questions. Sorry, I forgot. June, and then G.
I just want to clarify, because kudos to you all for doing this play to raise the awareness of transgenders. But could you most of the plays about transgenders cast a very negative aspect of transgenderism? like during the play, they were talking about the family accept her because she provides a source of income. Maybe you could play on this angle that play up her filial piety instead of focusing on she's doing sex work. Because we are talking about raising awareness of transgender, there's other positive example of transgenders. Because you are giving, maybe signaling the public that transgenders are all sex example, sex worker, abuse, but we are not a product of incest or abuse, we are a product of love. We embrace ourselves, we love ourselves, that's why we don't lie to ourselves, that's why we come up or through a gender identity. So I would like to see in future more positive portrayal of transgender community.
Just to answer the question very quickly, actually though I have to give a binary balance, there must be some element of connection for the audience to feel for the character. But if you were to actually see how I'm finishing up the story, I'm actually empowering her to say that I don't give a damn about the society because I know what I'm doing is right. So why should I care what other people think? So in that aspect, I've empowered this girl to wave off all obstacles and go in a way. So I think that is the moral of the story. But yes, we will include more aspect of the transgenders.
More emphasis on the positive side of the transgender, because there are transgenders who are doing very well.
I agree.
And now the place is 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's the 21st century. There are now a lot more job opportunities, a lot more options. Now we can enter the sex industry and can live as when we want. Not unlike 23 years ago.
Totally agree with you.
So I would like to see more positive aspects.
Yes, we will definitely do another play. Yeah, we will actually do another play that with many of your suggestions in tech. Thank you very much.
Actually, before that, I just want to, about Sonia. Do you really, Sonia and Sandia, do you agree that there really has been progress over the last couple of decades?
Yes, there's something I agree.
Tangible
It
progress,
is.
but there's more room for improvement. So it's like the makeup industry, they are welcoming us at the same time, but we want to do more. Just don't put us in makeup industry itself. We want to go more.
We need to have a transgender MP.
Seriously.
Like you know, yeah, they
But
this.
I have an answer for you. If I am the candidate, will you vote for me?
Yes.
Will you? Where are you staying?
Okay, Bukit Timah.
Okay, let me.
We have a new MP party. Generally, these people have become more positive. They are married now. They are able to adopt children and live a life that they are dreaming of. So I think there is a drastic leap in their whole lifestyle as well as living essence.
Like
So
as what Jun Chua said, why we chose SRX, sexually assignment surgery, because we want to be true to ourselves. Not too sure about the Chinese custom itself, but during our Indian custom, our final rites when we die, it's totally different. There is also a gender difference. If you are a male and you die, your rites are done totally differently. If you are a female, your rites are done totally differently. So if I dress up as a girl and everything, then during the last rites when they wash us, I have not done my sex change. Then okay, I have breasts and I have different things down there. Then the man will refuse to touch and wash me, and so it will go to the female as well. So when we are done, okay, I was born as a male, but I would like to live this world as a woman.
All right. Okay. Okay, we're going to take Jean's question will be the last question. All right, and then Vanessa would like to make a closing statement. Jean.
Well, to be fair to the playwright, I've always considered art to be the soul of the nation. So art is that kind of activism. So my question to the trans ladies, trans men here, we talk about discrimination. Would you organize, like maybe join NG Butterfly, some of the transgender groups out there to ask for your rights and not to be treated this way? If you try to organize, can you explain why? If you don't want to organize in such a way to ask for your rights, can you tell me why too?
maybe if we would want to do maybe in employment sector, so we would like to tell future employers, look at the qualification, not our identity.
But how we organize to get that kind of rights?
How to organize that? We need to work very, very hard for that.
We'll work with indignation for that.
When I answer that, I do approach a lot of LGBT organizations, but when I say I'm a transgender, okay, transgender, we don't have the program. We are this under gays.
So we need to
No
have
funding.
We need to have very, very rich trans women.
We are lumped together gays.
There are rich gay men around.
Okay,
please
it's
do help
still male and lumped with the gays. I'm pre-op, okay, op already. So my gender is female. Okay, then you're lumped with the lesbians.
And even when we come to the lesbian society, also we are also separated. Okay, they are genetically woman and you are gay. They will say, okay, this is genetic vagina and yours is new vagina. So don't get mixed up with that. No, it's just a piece of anatomy. You know, when you do your postmortem with less than 500 grams, why you see that? That is not going to do any work. That is not going to type anything for you. And my hand is going to type for you. So you see my hand, not what I have.
I do want to clarify though, but because Jean is from Sayoni, the group I mentioned to you before. She's the founder of this.
So how far will you bring us?
So
That's the question.
So I guess would Sayoni be able to accommodate a transgender program if transgender women were to come to you?
If there's program going to come on our way, and definitely will support you. But if there's no program, you need to do it. You need to show us things that we can totally work with you guys. Seriously. So how are you going to help us? That's question back to you.
We don't do any healthcare or that kind of programs. The only kind of program.
Healthcare, I got very safe.
Trans women need to be consulted when policies are made. For example, employment. But our frustration in 2011, we cannot find any trans women that are interested. Or back then, come for degree and we want to go shopping. Now that I know you, according to this.
Thank you. Or Jin Jun Chua. And Vanessa works very close with us also. You can go to Vanessa also. She knows where to hunt us.
You know, if you do a bit of stuffing, you can pretend to be trans women. What? Yes, oh, Vanessa, close it.
One more. We're actually doing a program. We're doing a documentation program. We're documenting trans discrimination and trans women face. Camille is the project coordinator.
Hello.
Oh, yeah,
So please give us your name. If your voices are not heard, nobody know this is happening to you. Because this is just a rule, but we need to bring it.
Well, actually, we don't mind sharing our voices to you, but just make sure our voice is being heard. Because I ever gave an interview to Tamil Morrison. You know, seriously, I did give an interview. But at the same time, I did ask the interviewer a question back, okay, since you know my qualification, why don't you give me a job in your place? And the answer was like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm documenting, not doing. She's the boss, she's the boss.
I'm in the healthcare industry, not only the medical industry, now I'm in the healthcare industry. Hopefully we'll be invading more industry, so watch out.
But don't become MP, don't become MP, I only.
Okay, watch out, Vincent.
Bukit Timah MP.
Okay, Vanessa.
Okay, so I'm going to close. As an activist, I shall put out a call to action. So after all this talking, we've been here for a couple of hours already. I'd like to propose a call to action to all of you here, which is this one thing that as Project X we have documented and noted, which is terrible, is how many people here have driven their cars to Changi Village one evening to have nasi lemak and then after that go around the car park and then wind down your windows and shout bapok bapok. Okay, y'all won't admit it here. But if you or anyone you know does anything like that, tell them to stop it. This is my call to action. Because, and not just to Changi Village, places like Deska, places like anywhere else that you know of having transgender sisters working on the streets. Please do not do that because it is humiliating, it is insulting, and it is extremely hurtful to the women working in those areas. You might not agree with whatever they're doing, but some people need to do that for a living. So here's a call to action to not to do that and to tell your friends. Oh, and if you teach at secondary schools, primary schools, I just had a huge argument with 3 secondary school students who were in one of the areas disturbing the sisters there, insulting them. So if you are a teacher, please tell that to your students as well. Okay, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, it is only 11 o'clock. Okay, some of you will want to go home, but okay, Prashant, how late will this